Should you summon Cross the Blaze All-Star Summons? Ladies and gentlemen, the CTB units have returned on their quote-unquote legendary Cross the Blaze banner, but they're calling it the All-Star Cross the Blaze banner because it is set up a little bit differently. And if you don't know what that is, that means that pretty much every single unit from Cross the Blaze is returning in Global Grand Summoners. Alongside them returning, you'll also be having the brand new summer equips, plus all their true weapons coming as well. We'll talk about those in just a second. Don't be too hasty now. Sit down. Let's talk. So I want to cover the units and the banners first before we actually cover the equips, just because I feel like that's the thing that everybody wants to know. Let's talk about the rotation the banner will be on. Yes, the banner is going to be on a rotation, so you got to be careful, because if you're summoning for, let's say, someone like Luan, and you really want Luan and you summon on day one, well, guess what? Day one isn't Luan. It's actually Lisa and Victoire. Lisa and Victoire will be the first banner, or the day one banner. After maintenance finishes, Victoire and Lisa will be here from 7/27 to August 2nd. On the next day, you will be getting Sistina and Angelus from the 3rd of August at midnight all the way to the 7th of August. So it lasts about like what, 4 days? Next is Luan and Baku, which is the third banner, and this will be lasting from the 8th of August to the 12th. And then the final banner will be featuring Orvell and Eagle, which will last from August 13th to August 17th. So technically this should you summon is should you summon for 4 different banners, but 5 if you actually count the, nope, wait, 6 if you actually count both of the true weapon banners. Damn, bro, they really trying to get some money out of this, huh? I respect it though. I do respect the hustle. Also, I'm trying to see too if the 5-star summon will reset per banner. I'm pretty sure it will, because technically these are different banner instances, because the banner does switch to a whole different featured list. So don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure if you're free to play, you will be able to at least do a guaranteed summon on each of these banners. So with the banner working like this, it's constructed in a way that I feel like is good, but at the same time, they knew exactly what they were doing, man. They weren't going to give you a god tier banner whatsoever, because from what I gather, it's only these 2 units that have the increased drop rate up, or, you know, the featured banner rates. There's not going to be any other featured unit on the banner apart from them. So it's, oh man, dude, it's tough. How they split up these banners is they gave you like a really strong unit, then kind of like the okay unit alongside them. Lisa's insane god tier unit, super good. She's able to cheese so much content, like it's wild. The thing about Lisa is I feel like you lose a lot of the value on her if you don't have the meta equips for her. Like for example, her true weapon, some really good support items, a really good heal item. Because with Lisa, she allows you to do stuff that you really shouldn't be able to do, like having tons and tons of resurrections on one character due to her majesty and the way how that works, plus all the equipment CT down you can put on her. She can cheese a lot of the harder in-game fights. She just makes in-game a lot easier, but I feel like she's more of a veteran type of unit, because if you're a new player, you're still going to see value out of her, but you're not going to get the value that I'm talking about till, you know, a lot later on. Victoire definitely isn't bad. She's a really good like light buffer, or light sub-attacker, let me say. She has the skill CT, she has the accuracy, she has the stats up as well, which is just nasty. You can give everybody 60% stats up if they're a light unit. So I think she's definitely pretty solid. I've seen some nuke comps revolve around her. So overall, this first banner gets a thumbs up from me. Next is Sistina and Angelus. Sistina, we all know how broken she is. She's such a good like all-around unit. Gives you really good damage buffs for physical damage dealers. Gives you a really good defensive option as well because of the barrier plus the art gauge that she has on her art. Her slots are pretty solid for what she's trying to do. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing else I can really say about Sistina. I think Sistina's a very straightforward unit though, compared to a lot of other units that we have in the global version of GS. You're not going to be seeing like any type of crazy mechanics that come out of her. She's very simple to use. You literally just pop her art majority of the time, and then whenever you want to deal big damage, you pop her true art, and there's really nothing else to say about it. Angelus, on the other hand, does have some pretty interesting stuff going on with Dragon Flame, which is a stacking mechanic that only she has. The more Dragon Flame stacks, pretty much the stronger that she becomes. And the higher you go with this type of stuff, man, the stronger that she gets. Like the max dragon stack she can have is 5. So you can turn her true art from a 30,000% multiplier all the way up to an 80,000% multiplier. It's pretty disgusting. She's really cool as like this hard build up burst nuker. I guess that's what you would call her. But she just builds up all this damage and then instantly nukes the boss. Really cool unit. Like her a lot. I don't see her used too much though, which I don't know if I have her. I think I do. Yeah, I do. I don't have a true weapon though. And you kind of need her true weapon, or you don't really, what I say need, I don't know. She likes her true weapon a lot. Maybe I should use her and see why people don't use her too much, but on paper and in my head, it sounds pretty good, but I hardly ever see anything with Angelus. The next banner is going to be Luan and Baku. We all know about the boy Luan. Super strong attacker, man. I think in order to get a lot of value from Luan, you really need his servant as well, which is going to be Chloe. And if you can't grind Chloe and get her maxed out and everything, you're not going to see too much benefit from Luan, because I really feel like those two units want to be on the same team together. And if they're not on the same team together, you're not going to see crazy over the top numbers from Luan that you would want to see, because Luan gets so many benefits for having Chloe on the team with him. Baku, on the other hand, is a very interesting unit and is really cool to use, but you really got to learn his mechanic and his gimmick. If you don't know what it is, he eats somebody. Yeah, he just takes a chunk out of him. So now the question is, does Baku eat boo? And the way how his mechanic works is that Baku will target whoever used the most recent true art. So there is some stuff you can do with that in terms of like purposely targeting certain units that maybe want to be on lower HP thresholds, or units that you don't really need the damage too much from. You just need like their effect from, like their artifact or whatever. But even with that, I don't think Baku is practical in the long term. He's a cool and fun unit to mess around with, but in terms of like how good he is in like harder content, you would be so much better off using any other unit. But he is a really cool unit to use if you want to use him. And then the last banner that we're going to be getting is, of course, the rivals, the villains, the enemies, the frenemies, whatever you want to call them. Orvell and Eagle. Orvell is one of the only stacking damage dealers that actually applies 100% defense ignore to himself that isn't crit chance. So he's able to go up against fights that have super high crit resist, because he doesn't rely on crit. He just relies on ignoring the enemy's defense. But even with that, Orvell, in my opinion, isn't the craziest ramping damage dealer. And there was another ramping damage dealer that came out pretty recently on Global that I've kind of liked a lot more. Man, I don't know what came over me right there. Orvell, if you want a ramping damage dealer that is able to ignore defense, he's your man. The only thing is, and the only problem that I have with pretty much every single unit that ignores defense in this entire game, is that they have to rival Daki. So technically he can turn anybody that's an attacker into a 100% defense ignore unit. So yeah, I don't think Orvell's required by any means. He is one of the best designed units in the game though. I mean, look at him. The man is sauce. This is drip. Yeah, I can understand why people like him. I enjoy using him whenever I do use him, but ever since Batiste came out, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't touched my Orvell in so long. And then Eagle, oh man, Eagle, let me tell you. There's been a lot of debate in my Discord over the months about who are the better or who are the best taunt tanks in the game. I've seen a lot of people say a lot of different things and how they ranked certain taunt tanks, and a lot of the times you would think that they rank Eagle the lowest. But if you think Eagle is the worst taunt tank in the game, then let me introduce you to another person, Dark Zeorg. Trust me, if you want to see this in action, go look at any of my videos where I use Dark Zeorg. I had an entire like saga on my channel where I tried my hardest to make this man work, and it just didn't happen. But Eagle's definitely not the worst taunt tank in the game. He may be close to the bottom, but he's definitely not the worst. He's a really interesting taunt tank, I will say, but he will need his true weapon if you really want to use him long term because of his Avenger mode. If you don't know what his Avenger mode is, pretty much the more damage he takes and everything, the more this Avenger bar builds up. Once it's fully up to max, you're able to use your true art, and it does a huge 60,000% multiplier, plus you drain the entire enemy's art gauge, and you disable Avenger mode, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So that is every single unit that is on each of these banners and what I think about them. Now, there is also the seasonal equips coming, and the seasonal equips coming, I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to mention the ones that I find notable and tell you maybe you should consider summoning for these. Now, these will be on the event banner that will be coming, or not the event banner, my bad, the gacha equip banner that will be coming. And the first one is going to be a 5-star support slot, which is Lisa's beach white dress. This thing's a pretty solid AoE archgen item. It's able to increase all art gauge by 30 for 10 seconds, and you increase all light and dark units attack by 30%. There is some really good synergy here with someone like Juno, for example, and Lisa. Have both of them on the team and you're going to get that 30% attack up, or if you're using any other unit as light or dark will benefit from this. If you need an AoE arch item, this one definitely isn't bad. 30 art gauge up, 35-second cooldown. I like it. Which is Sistina Summer one shoulder swimsuit. This item is literally just meant for vids, I feel like. It's able to increase all allies magic resist by 20%, and it's also freeze resistance 100% up. Really good stuff here. But if you already done Vits and you don't really care about having a really good magic resist item that's also applying that freeze resist, then I think you could skip this easily. One of the items that I kind of do recommend if you're into dark nuking though, or just using dark units, is Luan's Sunset Parcel. This thing reduces the enemy's dark resist by 30%, but if you're a human or god, you reduce the dark resist by 30% more. So if you're able to run this bad boy on like shit, now I gotta think of a unit that's nuker on dark that has a 5-star magic. It's like a human. Does Chloe have a 5-star magic? I don't think so. Oh shit. There's gotta be some unit on mono dark that has this. It's not Luan, and they're a human or god. A massive 60% dark resist down. Gonna be pretty insane if you can make it work. Next is gonna be Arver's Sunshine, and this is able to increase your own attack by 100%, and if you are a god, you increase it by another 60%, so 160% attack up for god units. This is of course really good on Orvell himself, but just by default 100% attack up for yourself, pretty freaking strong. It's only for 10 seconds though, but you don't really gotta be a god to get everything. 100% attack up is already good enough in my opinion. Those are the ones that I recommend personally out of the batch. Of course, whenever they come out, if you want to look at each of them individually and see if you like any of them, you can, but those are the ones that really caught my eye. So now moving on to the verdict for this banner. Should you summon on the Hero Fest All-Star Cross the Blaze? And here is my thing that I'm gonna tell all of you. The Cross the Blaze units are really strong. More so, the ones that are known to be good are really good. I'm talking about your Lisas, I'm talking about your Sistinas, I'm talking about your Luans with the Chloes. All of them really freaking good. So here's the thing that I will say. If you're newer to the game and each of these banners reset in terms of like their guaranteed 5-star with your free-to-play currency, if each of these banners reset, I think no lie, doing a summon on each reset, or hell, I would say everybody, doing a summon on each reset would be pretty good, because it's not really going to hurt you if you get Sistina or you get Lisa or you get Orvell or you get Luan. It's going to be a really nice pickup, but that's only considering if the free crystal multis actually reset their guaranteed 5-star summon. But here's another thing too that we got to mention. But if you really want to be stingy with your crystals and you want to skip out on majority of these banners, then I think that you either go with just the Lisa and Sistina banner, or you just pick whichever one that you want more of. If you really want Lisa, then go for Lisa. If you really want Sistina, go for Sistina. I think either one is going to benefit you greatly. Both of them are really good. Both of them have their different uses, and both of them are used for different things. So I think that's more of a thing for you to decide. If you want to know my honest opinion, I think if you have Juno, Lisa may be a better option for you in the long run than Sistina if you don't have Sistina. But if you want just an all-around good unit, like that's not really weak whatsoever in any field and just really solid damage wise, really solid defensive wise, then Sistina's not a bad option. See what I'm saying? It's really like there's not a bad choice to make here. If you want Sistina, go for Sistina. If you want Lisa, go for Lisa. The only ones that I think may be a bad choice is that if you go for more of the attackers, whenever you already have a ton of different damage dealers, and especially if you're going for Luan and you don't have Chloe or you can't beat Chloe, then I don't think that you go for Luan, because he really needs Chloe, man, for him to go crazy. I think the only time you skip this banner is if you have everybody, or if you really want to save for Phantom Snipers and Shaman King coming later on. And then now we have this crazy kill stuff that came out, which I'll probably make a video on that sooner rather than later. If you don't know what I'm talking about, to say the least, Mako got a true weapon now, and that's all I want to say. But guys, that's gonna be it for this video, man. Tell me down below what you're gonna be doing, if you're gonna be summoning, if you're gonna be skipping, if you're gonna be saving. What's the plan? What's the strat going into this? Me personally, going for Lisa, and then I'm saving the rest of the way. Thank you all again for coming out. If you're gonna be summoning on any of these banners, I wish you luck, man. But that's gonna be it for me. Thank you all again for coming out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more. And last but not least, you guys already know, don't forget to drink water.